a tug of war going on over this anonymous thing. And so, well, let's just try to co-opt it away from the bad guys that are using it and use it for good. And that's what General Flynn tried to do, okay? Had discussions with him about it. And I told Flynn he ought to just come out and say he's Q so he could shut up all the disinfo people and actually make Q good, and it would be real if Flynn let it. And I'm not going to get into our off-the-record discussions, but because the Q is so nebulous, Flynn wouldn't do that. So I was working years ago trying to fix Q. And I'm going to explain this to you, so I'm going to stop right here. I inspired Q. Paul Joseph Watson did. InfoWars did. In the election, WikiLeaks gave birth to Q. WikiLeaks is real. The pedophilia, the child kidnapping rings that are in the emails with John Podesta and all the rest of it, and Tony Podesta, that's all real. So how do you counter something like that? Well, they come out with saying it's really in a pizza place in D.C., not at farmhouses in New York and Illinois and in California. So they divert off onto the pizza place that did have a bunch of creepy, weird stuff and did have some of the people involved in stuff going there. And so you kill a real story with a fake story that discredits it. And that's what happened there. And then a lot of patriots, some in the Trump administration and some in U.S. intelligence, saw that InfoWars got major heat for exposing the pedophile rings and Jeffrey Epstein, and they said, let's do it anonymously and put out intel from our people inside the White House when Trump first got elected, and let's really energize the grassroots and have like a secret propaganda arm that tells the truth but releases stuff too hot to handle to the public. And that was a consortium of people in the White House. They tried to do what InfoWars does, but not putting their name on it. Within a month, it got taken away on the 8chan and the 4chan boards by the other side. I came out and said, it's been compromised, it's bad, get away from it. Then a tug of war happened. Then big tech would let Q information be promoted and pushed to the top everywhere, knowing that would make people get involved with it and think it was real and popular, while we were all being suppressed. Then when I warned people about the Q movement being anonymous and dangerous, people would think, oh, he's opposition to Q and Trump, he's bad. And then I explained that they were going to provocateur people, I think they were part of secret missions for Trump, to do all sorts of weird, violent things that happened in the U.S., but thank God none of it ever really got big until January 6th. And the majority of people that did go into the building, of different organizations and groups and individuals, had the Q propaganda background that there was going to be this big storm, and this was the day of the takeover, and it was all going to happen that day. They were led and manipulated by the deep state that by then had taken over. And if you want to understand how this works, look up what happened in Russia in the 1920s with movements that the Russian intelligence communist agency
Operation Trust,
trying to find out who all the opposition was in the country. They created their own underground group, which its slogan was "Trust the Plan." And they actually went out and led the opposition for several years, and then tricked opposition into going to carry out violence, where they then caught them, imprisoned them, and executed them. And so these programs have been done before. It was called Operation Trust, 100-year-old PSYOP, repackaged as QAnon. That's an excellent article on it. QAnon bears striking resemblance to Bolshevik PSYOP from 1920s known as Operation Trust. And so, Operation Trust 2.0, everything the globalist does is Bolshevik in style, was carried out. It's been carried out, and now it's gotten so insane, overhead shot please, that in Dallas and in Vegas and in New York City and in LA and in Austin, they have meetings sometimes with thousands, usually hundreds, of people that show up with flags saying Trump JFK Jr. 2024, believing he's going to show up, and then they'll just pick some random insane person out of the crowd and say it's JFK Jr. For TV viewers, I'm showing you the image of what's probably 500 to 1,000 people in Dealey Plaza, downtown Dallas, waiting for JFK Jr. to arrive. And that is all the PSYOPers literally testing the mind control they've got over these people. And when these people admit they're wrong, they'll be free of this, but they can't admit they're wrong because they're under Stockholm Syndrome. And those very people think I'm bad because I told them January 20th, Biden will be sworn in. After January 6th, the big push was, from the Q people, was, oh my gosh, Trump is going to be put in that day. Biden will be arrested. And I said, stay away from D.C. Don't be part of any violence. Watch your back. This is not the time to demonstrate. This is the insanity. And so that's why I have a visceral response. I'm triggered, like a leftist, when I hear this or I see this, because anything historically that's hidden and esoteric and wearing a mask, you're just supposed to trust as we all go, as one go, we all go and trust the plan. When you hear that, you shouldn't walk, you should run away from it. I'm going to come back, Adam, and finish up with you. Thank you so much. I apologize. My blowing, ladies and